Good evening, my friends. It is time for another PJ Talk. That is a pajama time art live chat. I just thought it was funny that it spells PJ Talk. Well, it spells PJ-TALC actually, but just don't worry about those kind of little things. I'm not going to sweat the small stuff. So, tonight, how was today? Today was very interesting, kind of long, and I'm very ready to have a nice, relaxing chat with you guys and then hit the hay. Let's see. It's kind of been an interesting day. I started out the day by falling up the stairs. I'm just talented like that. And I'm fine, except for a few bumps and scrapes and aches that are bothering me right now. So some sleep is going to make that nice and wonderful. I taught a wonderful ukulele class. And what else? Oh, so I took a huge pile, like 3 leaf bags and a trash bag full of stuff to Goodwill, and then I spent some time at the gallery, and I was supposed to teach my first pastel class today. At least it was on the schedule, but no one came. So try again next month, and that's okay. So you just keep on trying. What am I drinking tonight? I am drinking lemon ginger with probiotic from Bigelow. Something someone gave me. So cheers if you're watching. Cheers if you're not watching. I'm really actually enjoying doing these videos. It's like, it's kind of like writing in your diary. Only I don't tell you all the things, right? So, and another thing that I am enjoying is going through my old paintings with y'all. So tonight I have a special one for you. I think that of the ones that are old and that I still have, this might be the last one that's framed. But I have some other special ones to show you too. Tonight we're going to continue talking just a little bit about surfaces, because this one was done early on, and it's just an autumn scene. I'm trying to get the glare off of it for you. With this tree, it is behind this other tree. It's not part of this tree. I didn't show that very well. Remember, these are very early paintings. This one is so early that I had not yet discovered sanded papers. In fact, I had done what I've noticed a lot of beginning pastelists do. They go into the art store, they buy the things that say pastel on them. Unfortunately, without that knowledge, you can end up with some really difficult surfaces and difficult pastels for beginning. So that's what happened to me. All right. And this one was done with, a lot of it is done with pan pastel, and then I added other pastel on top for some of the more detailed things. But it was difficult, and the reason it was difficult is because it's on this paper that is very close to Canson Mitent. Canson Mitent is like, everybody gets that at first. I don't know why. because it's, in my opinion, one of the worst things you can work on as a beginning pastelist. So this is not Canson Mi Tint, but it's something really close called Fabriano Murano. And it's so close. It's almost the same thing, except Fabriano Murano doesn't have a smooth side, which Mi Tints does. Now, there's no way. Let me see if I can get it up close enough for you to see. Let me see if there's any way you can get the texture of this stuff. I can't manage it. But I think it was intended to look kind of like canvas. But seriously, folks, it's just impossible to get a good look on it because the texture on it keeps the pastel from getting into the divots. It's just for a more advanced pastelist, which I am not yet. You might be able to make something out of this. For someone who's just beginning, it's going to be extremely frustrating, and you're not going to be able to get the layers that you need. So if you ever talk to you, if it's you might think about starting with pastels, and don't buy Canson Mi Tint or Fabriano Murano. Get UArt. Start there. There are other sanded surfaces that are wonderful that you can try, but start with UArt and you'll be so much happier. So that's my old painting. I forget it's even there. I stick it up. It was in my old studio, and I walked in there tonight and went, oh, I should show them this one. So I still admire it for myself because of the work that it took, and because of the thrill that I had whenever I put it in a frame. So it's kind of a nostalgia thing. Before I sign off tonight, one thing that I do want to talk about is something that I see posted on some of the pastel groups that I'm in. It'll happen when a person who's new to pastels, they might not be new to art in general. They might be fine in another medium. They might be intermediate or advanced in another medium, but they're new to pastels. Or they might be a beginner artist entirely, and they're beginning with pastels. And they will post that they created a piece of art and it was a failure. And I have to tell you folks that although I would have used that same phrase whenever I was beginning, that's a phrase that doesn't belong in art at all. Now that I know that, I feel very passionate about the fact that failure isn't a thing that happens in art. Let me explain. If you say your painting or your piece of art is a failure, I'm going to ask you, what do you mean it's a failure? And I'm going to give you some possible options. Number one, if you mean it doesn't look like the photo reference, congratulations. You just made some art that didn't look like someone else's art. Good for you. That's not a failure. It's art. Number two, if you failed If you consider it a failure because you didn't do your best, that's an easy fix. Just go back and do your best. Then we can talk about whether it's a failure or not. And lastly, if it's a failure to you because it doesn't say what you wanted it to say, that's not even a failure. You just need to keep working on it until it does say what you wanted it to say. None of those add up to a failure. Send that critical demon back to the abyss where it belongs and get on with being an artist, because you are an artist. If you started something and it didn't say what you wanted it to say, and then you turned around and you kept working, welcome to the world of artists. That's what we do all the time. We fail, and we do it again, and we do it again, and we do it again. Sometimes we're done failing with that piece, and we put it up for sale, and we go on to the next one. But it's not... the fact that you failed on a painting or failed in your art, it doesn't even happen. It can't happen. By definition, you can't fail in art. So, pick up the failed piece of art, get back at it, just go on. If you've used up all the paper, if you've used up all the clay, fine, go get some more and start over. You're not finished because your first or second or third or 50th or 1000th piece doesn't say what you want it to say. You're not finished. You're not done being an artist. It's called a practice for a reason. We always have to practice it. So I wanted to encourage you with that today, and I will sign off, and I'm going to take my tiredness and put it to bed tonight. Good night, everyone. Make sure that you see the music, hear the colors, and awaken the wonder. See you tomorrow night.